with Aaron's rundown of what happened while we were away.
What happened while we were away brought to you by dropping Moderna. France and Germany have now either advised against or banned the use of the Moderna COVID-19 therapeutic for people under the age of 30 years old. They now join Sweden, Finland, Norway, and Iceland in halting or cautioning against the use of Moderna in younger people as more and more reports come in of heart-related issues in young people after taking the vaccine, like myocarditis. In completely unrelated news, Moderna is testing its jab on infants here in the United States. In further completely unrelated news, the German newspaper Berliner Zeitung has published an article called Puzzling Heart Diseases in Football. The article details numerous examples of soccer players, trainers, referees, and coaches across Europe coming down with mysterious heart-related conditions in recent months. A match abandoned in Bavaria after a ref had a cardiac arrest, a 17-year-old player being resuscitated during a game, another 17-year-old dies of a heart attack during a match in England, heart surgery for a Bayern Munich player, one of the top teams in the world, after a cardiac arrhythmia, a 25-year-old Belgian footballer suffers cardiac arrest early on in a game, another 27-year-old Belgian player suffers a heart attack during a game and dies later at the hospital, and on the list goes. 24 examples, all from the world of amateur and professional soccer in and around Europe. In further completely unrelated news, here's a horse doctor who works for Pfizer.
There is a very small part of professionals which they circulate on purpose misinformation so that they will mislead those that they have concern. Those people are criminals. They're not bad people, they're criminals because they literally costed millions of lives.
In further completely unrelated news, Bill Gates, the globalist billionaire who has worked relentlessly to shame and cajole people into getting this experimental jabs, had this puzzling thing to say during an interview last week.
We didn't have vaccines that block transmission. We got vaccines that help you with your health, but they only slightly reduce the transmissions. We need a new way of doing the vaccines.
First Liberty announced yesterday they're representing dozens of U.S. Navy SEALs and other naval special warfare's personnel in their fight against the Biden administration and the Department of Defense's refusal to grant them religious exemptions to the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. California Governor Gavin Newsom came out of his spider hole for his first public appearance in nearly 2 weeks yesterday, presiding over a state that has nearly twice the COVID infection rate of Florida.
Last year at this time, we all were bemused and confused when we saw a few states starting to see an increase in COVID. It's as if we learned nothing in the last year. The coverage of Colorado, somewhat inexplicable, they say. We really don't know why they're seeing an increase in Vermont and New Hampshire, why the Northeast is experiencing an increase. California is now experiencing an increase. Well, we know why. There's a seasonality to COVID. It's not particularly difficult after a couple of years to understand.
Let's check back in on the globalist warming festival in Scotland that's still going on.
Same patriarchal, rich, racist system that we are in. This is what caused the climate crisis, and so we have to dismantle that in order to achieve climate justice.
Back stateside, Joe Biden's nominee for comptroller of the currency, Saul Amavera, had this to say about the carbon-based energy industry.
And here what I'm thinking about is primarily coal industry and oil and gas industry. A lot of the smaller players in that industry are going to probably go bankrupt in short order. At least we want them to go bankrupt if we want to tackle climate change, right?
Back at the White House, Press Secretary Jen Psaki is still out with COVID, so Deputy Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is in.
I don't have a specific number for you. I don't have a timeline on the study. I'm not going to comment on that from here. I don't have any outreach to speak to at this moment. I don't have anything for you. I don't have any news or any schedules. I don't have anything. I don't have anything more to read out. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Inflation was up 6.2% in October over a year ago. That's the highest rate in 31 years. The rate increased by almost a full percentage point in October alone, compared to increases of 0.4% and 0.3% in September and August, respectively. Not to worry, though, we still have our bread and circuses. Late-night comedian Jimmy Kimmel had this to say about why Kamala Harris's approval rating is so low.
Kamala will read on TV about white people getting deducted by alien, sticking all kind of hell up their butt.
Whoops, wrong clip.
I've stuffed something in my pants, and you're allowed to feel around on the outside of the pants. You'll have 10 seconds to then guess what is in my pants. You should use 2 hands.
It's wrong clip again.
I think I know why Kamala's ratings are low, besides sexism and racism, which are the obvious ones.
And that's what happened while we were away.